This is one of Ireland's premier rivers from a historic, ecological and economic perspective. In Victorian times, it was often described as the Irish Rhine. Its principal stream rises in the foothills of the Kerry Mountains, then flows eastward for over 100 miles, gathering numerous tributaries on the way, until just beyond historic Lismore, it reaches the town of Cappoquin. The river was the lifeblood of the local economy, principally due to its value for transportation. Its other major wealth was in its salmon fisheries. Even today, the salmon still run, and there is a vibrant angling scene upstream, and the prolific wildlife goes about its related activity. Like with so many Irish rivers, each and every strategic bend became a focus point for settlement. In the case of Dramana, its massive Georgian house is long demolished, and what we now see is a redevelopment of the old Jacobean residence. Luckily, some earlier structures still survive on the grounds, such as the waterside bastion and the adjacent, absolutely unique rock house, still the subject of much academic investigation.
Dramana, the hill by the marsh. I was born here. I was born here and lived here for the first couple of years of my life, and then sadly my father couldn't keep the estate going as it was in the old days, which in fact meant that nearly everybody in the area worked here in one form or another. Father thought the best he could do would be to offer the house to any member of the family who would take it on to live in it themselves, and the land would then be sold to the Land Commission. The son of the chap who took on living here very kindly offered for us to come back and take it on again. And so in 1995, my parents got to return, and Nicholas, my husband, and I came then in 2004 when my father died and took up residence. So here we have Catherine, Countess of Desmond, reputedly born in 1464 and died in 1604, making her 140 years old, growing 3 sets of natural teeth, and dying falling from the first cherry tree brought to Ireland and planted here at Dramana by Sir Walter Raleigh. I always say if you believe that, you'll believe anything, but in fact many history books swear to it that she did live to 140 years. She was a fascinating character. She was born here at Dramana and she died here at Dramana. We have a wonderful bookcase made from the cherry tree that she supposedly fell out of. Dramana it's not an enormously large house. It's a very historic house, but it's not grand at all. But its living quarters are very comfortable. We then have 2 self-contained apartments, sleeping in total 12 people, but can be broken down into smaller groups depending on what's required. One sleeps 8 people, and the other 4. Some will come for a mid-week break, others will come for the full week. So it's all very flexible. We have had many honeymoon couples come, and people come for all sorts of different holidays, from walking holidays to yoga to mindfulness, visiting other gardens. We've got 7 other gardens in the area immediately surrounding us here, within 5 miles to be precise. Location-wise, Dramana is very well positioned. We're 1 hour from Cork, 1 hour from Waterford, and I guess 2.5 from Dublin Airport, which is really not a bad journey. The accommodation is all year round available. Here at Dramana, you can choose to be very private. You're completely self-contained in your apartment. Or, if you want, you can come and join in the family in the garden, or go and, as it's a garden of 30 acres, there's always a quiet corner. The Taj Mahal, as it's called. Well, my great-great-great-grandfather, Henry Lord Stuart de Decies, when he married in 1826, was returning with his young bride, an Austrian lady, and the estate was so pleased to see him coming back that they decided to make some sort of a garland to welcome him home. He had the bridge that you see today, or the buildings you see today, built at a later date after that, an era of folly building, really. So it was one of the many entrances to Dramana. There were 3 avenues. The gardens are full-time, but if you like something you do, it's not a job. You come to visit the garden at Dramana, or a house tour. I just love what I'm doing. Working with nature is very therapeutic. They say putting your hands in the dirt is extremely important. Everybody should be doing it. So people come and stay here. If they want to come gardening with me, they're very welcome. Dramana is a wonderful place for people to come if they enjoy photography. Whether it be photographing flora or fauna. Up the woods you'll come across all sorts of amazing wildlife. Needless to say, we've got throughout the year we've got deer, we've got otters in the river.
Dramana is the ideal place to come if you want some peace and quiet. With so much natural beauty and tranquility all around you, if you want to just walk down to the bastion and sit above the water there, it is simply wonderful. There is no other place quite like it. The key to a good garden is a fertile soil, together with landscaping, plants and design, of course. The natural layout of the lands of Dramana lend itself to a dramatic effect. Since taking over the garden in 2004, Nicholas, my husband, and I have planted many thousands of interesting woodland plants, which we have happily sourced from all over the world. People are so kind in sharing what they grow. The mature trees lend a backdrop to a large number of species rhododendrons, camellias and azaleas in the spring. The herbaceous borders bring us through to the height of the summer, and the hydrangeas take us to the close of the growing season and the fantastic autumn colour reflected in the river beneath us.
And the yoga groups then, they like to maybe take in a tour of the house, they maybe have dinner with us, or they have their own self-catering apartments where they can self-cater from the beginning of the week to the end.
Many people ask me what it's like to live here at Dramana, and all I can say is, wouldn't you like to wake up surrounded by this extraordinary beauty? I'm the 26th generation to live here, a tenant for life, I say, and there's nowhere I'd rather be.